If I wanted to take the mick out of someone I don't like, I'd just make Alan to say that they're his best friend.
High, bass underneath, bass on top.
Yeah, it should be a full pie experience.
Noted.
Yeah, it's like comfort food for me, but really like top drawer.
Just a simple Michelin star chef making a pie.
You want to go there? You want to go there? Right, do you want me to go there? Should we do that? Are we doing that? I'm not enjoying it. I just like to wolf it down.
Go down.
I'm doing my 105th show this evening.
Oh, wow.
So the novelty's worn off.
Ange and I went on a date night together.
It's our first date together.
First date
Very
together,
good date.
yeah.
We didn't talk once.
Yeah, that is rude. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to Dish from Waitrose. I'm Nick Grimshaw.
And I'm Angela Hartnett.
And welcome to Series 7, baby.
Series 7. I thought we were on Series 5.
We should talk about who ended Season 6.
Tom, our mate Tom.
Tom Holland.
Who's now engaged. Did you see that?
Oh my God, I know. And do you know what?
Oh my God, this is how he reacts to everything on social media. Oh my God.
I saw this and all news articles being like, Tom Holland drops major goss about marrying Zendaya and the host didn't notice. Me and you.
Really?
Because he apparently was saying, well, not apparent, he was saying, oh, we're going to have, Christmas together.
Yeah.
But next year I want it to be our families together.
Oh,
and this
and
year
that
we're
was
going to
the-
be somewhere secret and we're not saying why. And it's like, oh
Yeah,
yeah.
no, it's like, you should have picked up on
Hey,
that.
we're not
That's your
hacks,
job.
okay?
Yeah, exactly.
We're not hacks. So
We
yeah,
just
we
were-
missed that one.
Okay,
but yeah,
we're loving the moment though.
Yeah, it blew up though. People loved it.
Everyone loves him. The amount of people that have said to me, oh my God, you had Tom on, you had yeah, incredible.
Good way to end it.
Good way to, and he was lovely.
He was
amazing.
really was. He really, really was.
And very funny.
Today we welcome Steve Coogan.
Love Steve Coogan.
Have you ever met Steve Coogan?
Never.
IRL?
Very excited. Very
I'm
nervous.
excited. I'm nervous as well.
You've met him though, no? Surely.
No, never.
No, really?
Never met Steve Coogan.
And we went to see a show the other night, Dr Strangelove.
We did. We went to go see Dr Strangelove at the No Coward Theatre in London. It was on in the West End, and now it's currently on this week in Dublin.
Yep.
And then you can watch it on the internet as well. It's like
Exactly,
on the internet.
Yeah.
You can watch it online on
National
the
Theatre
internet.
Live.
Yeah,
Yeah.
NT Live. Before we get Stephen, let's hear from a listener.
Love a listener. Love a
We
listener.
have Aeneas and Elliot. Hi, guys. An email about snacks. Hi, Nick. Hi, Ange. I'm currently on the drive from Glasgow to Manchester with my partner, Elliot. We are catching up with Dish as we like to save them for our long car journeys. Our food question for Ange. What's your go-to car snack for a long journey?
Ooh, that's a difficult one, I think. I don't have a set of snacks for a car journey.
No.
I don't sort of go...
Just
going,
imagine
I'm
the
going-
scene now. Close your eyes. We're on
Yeah.
a motorway. It's grey. You're driving. I think you're a better driver.
Yeah.
I said, I'm just going to nip it. I've got some snacks. What would be your dream situation to pull out of that
I
plastic
would...
bag from the service station?
There'd be three things. There'd have to be salty, sugar. So there'd be satsumas, because they're easy to eat,
Yeah.
I think. I like a bit of fruit.
Not whilst driving.
Not whilst driving, but...
I'd peel.
You peel.
I'll peel. I'll
I
peel
like
and
a
pass.
salty crisp.
Yeah,
I think you
what
need
crisp?
a plain salted,
salted crisp.
And then probably our chocolate of choice, a Malteser. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flake is probably my favourite chocolate.
Ooh,
but
not a
you
flake
can't-
in a car.
You can't eat a flake in a car.
Oh,
you
not
need
a flake in a
Malteser.
car.
That would be dangerous.
Nah,
be messy.
not a flake
be
in a
messy.
car. It's madness. Okay, should we get Steve Coogan in?
Yes, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Hi, Coogan. How are you? You okay?
Steve,
Welcome.
nice to meet you. How are you? Well,
Very good, yeah.
You all right?
sit down. Cycled here, I hear.
I did cycle.
Love that.
Probably the last person who cycled there was Chris Evans, but he came in full lycra. I draw the line at lycra, especially middle-aged men wearing it. There should be a law against that, I think.
Time to welcome our guest, a man for all seasons, but especially the start of this season, which is season 7 of this
Yes.
podcast. Round of applause for Steve Coogan, everybody. Welcome
Welcome,
to Dish.
Steve.
How are you?
I'm very good, yeah, very good.
Thanks for coming to see us.
Yeah.
Well, I'm very pleased to be here. I've been told, this is the one to do. This is the one.
This is
Oh,
the
wow.
one. Who told you that?
My daughter.
Oh, did she? She said this is the one. Oh, well, thank you
Because
so
she's
much.
a chef, your daughter, isn't she?
She is. She's
Yeah.
works at a canal, a restaurant, a cafe on a canal in East
Yeah.
London.
Oh, yeah, I know the one. It's very good.
Wait, do I know the one?
Yeah, you do.
Oh, I love that one. You can get like a tray bake when it's closed.
Yes.
I love that one.
And they do the best breakfast.
Yeah.
And actually, I stole one of their recipes. And I did note that I put it in the book.
Bold to
they
announce.
Do this, it's a really simple recipe, but it was so delicious. Just 2 fried eggs on bread with chili and anchovies and sage.
Yeah.
I mean, why wouldn't you want that on a Saturday morning?
Did
Sunday
they mind?
morning?
Did you give them
I put a little mention. I said, I've
Inspired by
Laura. Always. I know, you have to do that.
Inspired by.
That's
But yeah,
great.
thanks for coming to see us. We're dead excited that you could join us. We're going to talk about your play. We just went to see it, and we loved it so much.
Are you enjoying it? There's a hesitation on that
well,
face.
it's like-
You're like, what?
I'm doing my 105th show this evening.
Oh, wow.
So the novelty's worn off.
It's not fun anymore.
I mean, I have most fun. I've got to do 4 characters in this show.
Yeah.
This Dr Strangelove, and then 3 other characters. And the changes backstage are like Formula 1 pit stops.
Yeah.
That.
And there's 4 women and 1 man who basically pull all my clothes off and then put clothes on me. All in a very professional capacity, unfortunately. So that's what, and that's more interesting. I have the most fun doing that backstage.
Doing that.
The banter
Yeah.
between us as we do, because we know it so well now. It's its own little sort of play.
Yeah.
Going
Back
on
there.
backstage, but very fast changes.
And when you do the fast change, do you just step off and stand still and they do it?
I sort of revolve on the spot. So I go,
Yeah.
they put stuff on me here, and then I turn that way, and someone puts me something here, and I turn that way, and someone puts something here, and then I
Oh
walk
my
back on
God.
stage. So it's-
Love. And how is it going back to the theatre? Because it's the first time back on stage in, 28 years?
Well, I've forgotten that you have to go every night to do it.
absolute nightmare.
I mean, I know they said that, and I went, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I feel like, because I'm so used to seeing stuff on camera, I'm like,
Yeah.
well, have you got it? Great, can I go home now?
Yeah.
You know, you have to keep coming back.
Yeah.
So that's quite that, and that is a bit of a culture shock for me. But it's quite good. It's quite good discipline, because you have to do the show whether you're in the mood to do it or not. So
Yeah.
you've got to garner all this enthusiasm. So I walk around backstage singing out loud.
Yeah.
We're going to do a show, even though none of us want to. Sort of get everyone in the mood, like, you know. And when you're doing it on the stage, it is fun. It's just the anticipation of going. I've got to do a show in. I mean,
Yeah.
today I'm doing 2. I've got to do 1 in the afternoon.
Oh, matinee, yeah.
But I'm on the home straight, so I say I'm used to doing shows on my own, but there's a big cast, you know. It's not just me.
Not
I've
just
got to
you.
give them credit, you know. I am part of an ensemble.
Yeah.
I just have to do the most of the heavy lifting.
It's like you on this, Ange. Very similar.
with you, Steve. I get it.
Yeah, you do the heavy lifting,
Yeah.
and also
I'll
you're
go
like,
get the
we've
pie."
got to do another show.
I'm very like that.
We've made you this, which is because you have not 1 but 2 performances today. So we've gone for this, which is a mother root ginger non-alcoholic
Very nice.
cocktail thing. But I love this. I have it at home. It's good, this, isn't it?
It's got a sort of it's bitter,
It says nice.
sort of vinegary kick as well. Not Sarsons. No.
Not Sarsons. No,
Just
it's
checking.
Sarsons on ice.
Okay.
Cheers.
Cheers.
But I do love this. I have it at home. I really, really like it. So welcome. Have you had to change quite a lot to suit theatre life? Because it's essentially become nocturnal, I guess.
I'm in a routine now.
Yeah.
I cycle to the theatre. Someone drives me home.
What happens with the bike? Bike in the car?
It's a folding one that goes in the boot.
Yeah, nice. Didn't you just have a daily new one?
Just give me a new bike every day. I don't want a dirty one, I want a new one. It got dirty and then I cycled in.
Let's talk about, we always like to hear our guests' palate, our food likes, dislikes. You supplied a terrific list of food loves. Steve Coogan enjoys simple fresh pasta, rhubarb, ice cream, rhubarb crumble and custard, porridge, chocolate, scrambled eggs with Marmite, cheese and onion pie, fish and chips, soda bread, purple sprouting broccoli. This is all food. Curry, Lancashire cheese, roast beef, potato farls, carpaccio, tartare, smoked mackerel pate, and a fish finger sandwich. We're going to have 1 of those today.
Yeah, 2 actually.
2?
We've got the cheese and onion pie, and
Yes.
we're doing rhubarb crumble.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
nice.
and custard.
Oh, yeah,
Proper
nice.
custard, like, bird's custard.
Yeah.
But isn't that the sort of thing where chefs sort of surprise you and say, I like the cheap version to make you go, ooh,
relatable.
That's surprising. I like the wall sausages, not the fancy ones.
Not me. I hate all that stuff. No, I don't.
Yeah, posh custard. I don't know about posh custard. Not into it. I did Bake Off once, like a charity Great British Bake Off, and you get like the surprise element on the show where they say, they're like the blind round or whatever, and you just don't know what you're going to get, and you turn the card over and it says a recipe but very vague, so it'll be like, add the water to the blah blah, and you don't know the quantities. One of the instructions was make custard. I was like, make custard?
Yeah. Well,
I thought that was
what you thought,
an
just
ingredient.
came in a plastic. Just came in a plastic tub.
Yeah, it just came. I was like,
And what did you do?
Make custard. I think I did eggs, sugar, what is it?
Yeah, it is egg, sugar, milk. Yeah, basically that.
And custard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then add custard.
And then custard.
And add the yellow stuff.
Custard. I was like, jeez. We have your dislikes as well. Shorter. Oysters, quite a common one. Offal. No one's mad for it. No one's going to be like, please, offal.
I love offal.
Please, offal. My dog might. And then this is the specificness of a microwaved baked bean.
Yeah, what is it you don't
I
like?
don't, because I think they should be broken down, that they should be cooked so that they almost start, so they break down.
Yes.
If they're like little bullets, hot bullets, the whole in the microwave. It's a criminal thing. I think you should. Yeah, if I do a fried breakfast, I put the beans on first, so they really start to break down.
Yeah, okay.
So they're
they
kind of
start to
half
mush
broken,
together in a
almost
way.
slightly mushed. Yeah,
Yeah.
Not
Slightly
quite.
mushed. You know what I mean?
Very
I'm
good.
really glad we're having a pie, though. I'm glad
Okay.
that you picked that, because sometimes, I mean, always enjoy the food Angela
Here we
cooks,
go,
but
Bart.
no, but sometimes, but like this feels like seasonally
Feels-
matched. Like I'm in pie season. This is
It's
exactly
sort of
what I want
comforting
to
and a
yeah.
winter sort of food. Quite nice if it is winter.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
as two northern lads here, pie, base underneath, base on top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pie, yeah. I mean, as long as it's not too thick. But,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
yeah, it should be a full pie experience.
Right,
Yeah.
okay. Okay, noted.
Yeah. It's funny, when I did this series with Rob Brydon, the
Oh, yeah,
trip, we
true.
went on all these fancy restaurants all around the world, in fact, and they were all interesting. But I did find myself craving more simple food
Yeah.
stuff, yeah.
after a while of being bombarded and spoilt by this sort of salt on the senses.
Yeah.
And even just craving a fried egg sandwich. You know?
Yeah.
And also, I started to get put off by the sort of fetishistic 8-course menus where it takes longer to describe the food than it does to eat it. If someone stands there, tells you what it all is, and you're going, all right, get on with it. And then you go, right, it's interesting. So, yeah.
I'd only done that once where I went and did like a long, like 11-course situation. And Mish, my boyfriend's got like a ferocious appetite. And so he was like, oh, great. But it was
Tiny,
small.
yeah,
And the
light.
gaps in between, he was fuming.
I mean, I like that sort of farm to table.
Yes.
Not
Oh,
messed
it's like
around with.
honesty
Yeah.
Yes.
of presentation without it looking look nice.
Yeah.
Well, when I grew up, my mum cooked all the food
Yeah.
because that was the most cost effective
Yeah, exactly,
way of
yeah.
feeding the family. And I was jealous of all the kids at school who had all the processed food,
Yeah, yeah,
like Kinder's crispy pancakes and all that stuff.
Yeah, I was the same, and I used to be like jealous of people having like a takeaway. Like we never had a takeaway. We'd like have a chippy
Yeah.
like on a Friday,
Yeah,
but like
yeah, exactly.
even like Chinese food. I was like, I want that. So I always
Yeah.
hated my mum's food that she'd make because
Yeah.
I thought it was
Yeah.
like really boring, and now I love it.
Yeah,
She-
of
my
course,
mum
of
was
course.
essentially Saint John.
Yeah.
Like just doing like
She
weird
taught
pies and
Fergus,
stuff.
yeah,
like
exactly.
potatoes.
Yeah.
Your snails, you know.
like
all
tater
of that.
ash with a crust and
Yeah,
cabbage.
lovely. That's the way to do it.
Loved that, but as a kid, you don't want that, do
Yeah.
you? I was desperate for a
Yeah.
chopstick.
Oh, lovely, thank you.
Yes. Did you specify
So-
cheese and onion pie?
I did.
Yeah, good.
I did.
And would you have a pie and a chippy?
In the past, I would. Probably not now.
No,
Yeah,
why?
growing up, we go to the swimming baths.
Yeah.
You know, with your towel under your arm, and you come back and you get chips and tray with gravy with batter bits. They'd scrape the batter bits out of the back
I
of
love
the
that.
thing, just chuck them on your.
I love that.
That was like 15 pence, I think.
Yeah, probably
For
was.
the whole thing, you know.
And my dad used to do the same shtick every week. He'd go and then come back and be like, Goldmine, that place. Goldmine.
Goldmine.
Goldmine, that place. Queuing out the door every Friday, and we'd be like, wait for it. And he'll come in and go, Goldmine. Like, every Friday. queuing out the door.
Yeah.
And we like set him up because we knew it was coming. Was it busy? He'd do it
To try and tease it out of him.
like, busy? Queuing out the door.
Which was your favourite country in the trip? Did you have one?
Well, yeah, Italy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I quite like going around the north of England because it was
Yeah.
familiar to me.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then also finding these little hidden places.
Little places, yeah. Where would you like to go that you've not gone to? Is there anywhere in the world that you think,
Well,
I
Italy-
could
it's-
imagine me and Rob Brydon doing that?
Italy was amazing because that's an interesting example because in Italy, even sort of, there isn't really a culture of fast food there.
No,
not
the
at all.
way there is here.
Yeah.
And that's really quite clear. And it's sort of hard to get bad food.
I remember when we went to Japan last year, never been, always wanted to go. And when we were, going out for a mooch one day, when we asked the reception, like, where could we go for like good food? And they were like, what do you mean? And I was like, where would you say would be nice for food? And they're like, anywhere. And I was
really?
like,
How
she don't get
interesting.
what I'm on about. So I asked someone else, and they were like,
Careful.
no, I was like, oh, maybe she doesn't know what I'm trying to say it. And then someone else was like, everywhere.
Yeah.
And it was like an alien concept, like there'd be a horrible
Yeah,
restaurant.
of course.
Yeah,
And they were
how
right.
interesting. Really, how
Everywhere.
interesting.
Yeah, couldn't you do a Japan leg?
Well, I do like sushi and
Yeah.
sashimi and all that. Yeah, it's right. Funny enough, the things like steak tartare that really, my dad, my late father, I remember once he ordered steak tartare and it came and he looked at it with horror. And he went, I said, you weren't expecting that, were you? And he went, no. And I had a steak, and I went, do you want to swap? And he went, if you wouldn't mind. But I do like that. Good. That when the food's really good. If it's raw, it's got to be good. It's got to be good.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah, and how is it going to work with Rob? You must love each other.
Well, the
really.
other thing is
Come
like
on.
what we do because it's sort of it's like weird. It's a weird thing. It's not reality TV because we play ourselves, but we have actors playing his partner, and I have an actor playing my partner, and I have an actor playing my son, and I've got a daughter. But it's sort of had this hybrid thing where you can say stuff and make stuff up, and also it's sort of half. It's not real. But people don't quite know. In fact, I look at some of the stories I tell in it, and I go, well, that was true, and that one was just a lie. But Rob and I, we had a gentleman's agreement that we were allowed to take the piss out of each other, and know that we would risk upsetting each other. Because if you really want to needle someone, you know someone well, you know what buttons to press
Of course.
to wind them up. So we did that, and sometimes it would get quite frosty.
Yeah.
Probably on my part, And I go, you want to go there? You want to go there? Like, do you want me to go there? Should we do that? Are we doing that? But I was normally the instigator, and then Michael would say, stop, be nice to each other, or just do some funny voices. You're being too nasty.
I have a funny voice.
Yeah. I play up to being precious and pretentious. There's some truth in it, but not. It's like we always overplay it. And Rob plays being Mr. Entertainer. And he's more. He's a bit more nuanced than that. a bit.
A little bit more precious. Yes.
And so what we do is we play that up. But actually, in the evening we go out and eat ourselves. As two normal people. And our conversation is really boring. Talk about are you having an extension built? Right? Things like that. Life's really dull.
Dog football.
I said, if they film this, they say, God, they're so boring. Or how much we like our children. No edge at all. But that's. But Rob and I do actually like each other. And when we did the trip to Italy, Anna Wintour at Vogue flew us over there just to take one photograph, or two photographs to go in Vogue. So we went back to a place called Ravello on the Amalfi Coast, which is like heaven. It's like up on the mountaintop, and it's the most idyllic garden. Anyway, we went there, and Rob and I, before we did this photo shoot, let's go for dinner. In one of the restaurants we'd been to when we were filming the trip, and there was a couple who'd gone there on holiday because they'd seen the trip and they wanted to go to the restaurant we'd eaten in. And we were there eating in the restaurant. And we're like, do you just live here in this restaurant and eat here? Like, they were like, it sort of blew their minds. Like, what, you're like that, we were there specially for them.
They must have been like, what?
Yeah. In fact,
What, did Anna Wintour love the trip?
she loved the trip, and we'd been doing it for quite a few more years than that. And I had, I did this film at the time that I won a BAFTA for. For writing. And my daughter always says that I'm sartorially challenged, you know, like, when I dress, I go, do you think what I'm wearing is okay? She go, it's a bit 50 Shades of Beige. And anyway, I got a text from Anna Wintour saying, great speech, good suit.
Ooh.
I showed it to my
that's
daughter.
a
I said,
compliment.
Anna Wintour says, I wear a great speech, good suit.
Yeah.
And she, my daughter said, it said great speech, good suit. It didn't say good speech, great suit.
We now come to our fast food quiz. Favourite way to eat eggs?
Poached.
Okay.
I can't poach eggs, but I like to eat poached eggs.
We're not asking you to make anything.
Okay, good.
Just an answer. What's your favourite sandwich filling?
I think if I'm going on a hike in the north of England, a ham sandwich with pickled onion and lots of English mustard.
Oh, yeah, English mustard.
On white crusty bread.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely
Correct.
white bread.
What's your favourite form of potato?
Well, probably, roast.
Your favourite crisp?
I don't like Ponzi crisps.
No.
We're with you there.
Too
We're with you
thick
there.
and I remember in Ireland they do a thing called tato crisps.
Oh, yeah,
It's
breast.
thin and just salted.
Yeah.
It's really simple.
Favourite pasta?
Yeah, favourite pasta.
The little cup one, the little tiny cup one that stuff collects in. You know,
left
what's
it.
it
Like
called?
the orychiesi.
That's right. Yeah,
That's
that
it,
one. Yeah,
orychiesi,
that one.
yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Oh, I know the one you like. Did I read this right? Someone said broccoli. The broccoli sauce
Yes.
with orychiesi,
Yeah,
with
yeah.
onions, garlic,
Yes,
garlic,
yes,
chilli.
yeah,
and
that's- yeah.
Favourite Sunday roast?
Beef.
Beef,
Yeah.
yeah.
Just like, I'm normal.
You know,
My brother always says that he has to be a roast beef or it's not a roast.
really?
Well, roast chicken is
He would
roast
say
chicken is
that.
very good actually,
Yeah.
and it's sort of funny because like chicken, the old days chicken was a big treat when I was growing up,
Yeah.
and then it became ubiquitous, and it's sort of like, and it became a bit boring, and now sort of I feel I'm falling back in love with it again.
Final one. Favourite herb, Steve?
Oh crikey!
Do you like that blobber rosemary in there?
Yeah,
It's
rosemary.
quite good actually, rosemary. It's quite interesting,
Chive.
yeah. And basil's quite.
Yeah.
is very
I love
good,
this.
Yeah, it's the thought process.
That's the most pressure I've had all year.
Forget the stage show. He's like,
I haven't made a crumble in ages, actually.
it was sort of the first thing you did at school, a crumble, wasn't it?
I'm going to give you a bit more of
make
the
it
rhubarb,
crumble.
because I know you like the rhubarb. There you go.
Oh yeah.
And is rhubarb on now?
No.
Coming in, well, Yorkshire forced rhubarb.
Forced rhubarb. Now
That's the
it always
thing.
sounds a bit.
Forced?
It sounds rude, doesn't it?
Yes, forced rhubarb.
Ouch.
But it's sort of the rhubarb equivalent of veal, I think.
Yeah.
It's like- because they put it in the dark shed. don't
Yes,
they?
yeah.
And you sometimes see those photographs of those sheds with is it candlelight or something?
Yeah,
where
they would be, yeah.
It always looks really sort of strangely religious or
Yeah,
something. Those
it feels like the
those-
Blair Witch Project.
Yeah, yeah.
Rhubarb by candle.
Force.
They-
Well,
they-
they're making it grow quicker, basically.
But
That's why they're doing it.
because they put little holes in the roof.
Yeah.
Is that right? So
I
there's a
think
little
so,
bit
yeah.
of light or something.
Yeah.
Is the candlelight simulating daylight?
sun.
I think it's the holes in the roof and it's the candlelights helping that all come through.
And it goes really pink.
Yeah.
And so it's naturally sweet.
Yeah, that's what we get.
So is
Because
this
if
a
you
forced rhubarb?
This is forced rhubarb because of the
I'm gonna try
sweetness.
it.
Whereas if you get the rhubarb, look, we've
have
all
to
got
put
the
loads of
bottom of our
sugar in.
garden. Yeah, with sugar. And then also the one you get at the bottom of your garden is
It's sort
much
of
more
green-
sharper,
Yeah,
greener.
It is
It's
very
not the
bitter.
pinkness.
You have to put loads of sugar.
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
that's what the rhubarb I grew up with.
Yeah.
Was like the green stuff. There might be a bit of pink here.
Right
and
at the
there.
top,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, yeah,
literally
yeah.
at the end.
A little bit.
Do you want some custard? Would you like?
I'm not mad for custard.
You're
you
not
know, but
mad
I
for
will.
custard,
I will.
yeah.
I'll have a little bit.
Is there
of
something like orange?
There's
Oh,
orange
right.
zest in there.
Zest.
Orange zest in there, and it's rhubarb
Forced
and
or
pear.
natural?
Natural orange zest. I dyed it earlier.
Yeah, that orange zest is really tangible,
Lovely crumble.
which is a really good word to use.
That's a pleasure, guys.
We've got to talk Alan Partridge, and we've got to talk Alan Partridge and food in a moment because they're quite the relationship. How is it talking about Alan Partridge?
Yeah.
Are you over it or
No.
willing to discuss?
No, as long as I'm able to do other things.
Right. Yeah.
So when I do Partridge, I do it through choice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not because I have to. And I'm doing some stuff at the moment, and it does make me laugh. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do have I make notes in my phone. I think I have a funny idea.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
I'm on the train and I'm chuckling to myself, I will laugh at myself as a Partridge is coming to my head and put it in my phone on my own. Or I'll look in the shop window and think about, I might say, oh, what Alan would say about that. Still doing it now 30 years later, so it's like a condition now.
Yeah.
There'd be an acronym
state.
for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do like writing it with the Gibbons brothers, the two writers who've been doing it for 15 years, and we've been doing the podcast, and I mean we think up funny scenarios. The one we did the other day was Alan gets trapped in a porch. You know the glass door, door just outside the front door. Some semi-detached house, Lynn's house. He goes out there, she's gone out, and he slams it up. He's trapped in the porch for 8 hours. But he's recording his podcast, so he has to start looking at the leaflets on the floor, like pizza delivery leaflets, and things like that. So I do still like doing it, and we've done a TV series. It's called How Are You? It's Alan Partridge.
How are you?
It's Alan Partridge. It's about mental health.
Yeah.
When will we get to see that?
This year. I mean, we're editing it now. So,
And are you always doing stuff like you do so much? Are you always been like that? Have you always been driven to work and make things?
I like being busy. I mean, so I like working. Work.
Yeah.
It's I'm lucky to do something that I enjoy.
Yeah.
And I never forget that. I do remind myself of that all the time. I'm lucky that I get sort of approbation from people who say, "Oh, I love what you do,"
Yeah.
and that's something that not everyone gets.
Yeah, sure.
So
and it's
that's-
also other stuff that you do with like Baby Cow Productions. There's so much.
Well, I helped
incredible.
launch the careers of Rob
Of
Brydon.
course.
And,
He should be very grateful.
I think he is deep down. I think he is.
down.
He wasn't on the podcast, but he
No,
might be
deep
deep
down.
down.
But I think if you pinned him down and said, "Are you grateful?" he'd say, "Yes, I am."
I am.
In a very humble way.
Yeah, I
He
am.
can
Sir.
surprise you. He really can.
Yeah, he can. He can. Actually, Alan Partridge had some fantastic sort of collisions with food over the years. On cheese, he said, a friend of mine once said that he liked his women like Parmesan, strong smelling and shaved. I don't agree with that, but I don't like hairy women. That is so good. That is so funny. It's still so funny, like truly is. Does it still make you laugh? Yeah, when you see it.
When we write it,
Yeah.
because when I do it, I can't laugh although I do, of course. I start crying, laughing at something. There's some things he says that no one could say, and I certainly couldn't say.
Yeah.
But because the audience know who he is and that he's sort of ill-informed, but is trying his best. He's not an evil person.
No.
He's just a fool.
Yeah.
And sometimes the fool. And the
Can come out with some
says
genius
says
stuff.
things that people secretly agree with.
Yeah.
That's what's going to go, but they can't say.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's quite enjoyable. That having
Yeah.
that little bit of catharsis. There.
Yeah.
I mean, if I want to sort of take the mick out of someone I don't like, I just make Alan say that they're his best friend, rather than attack them. And how much he loves them.
Really good.
In the last Alan Partridge book, it says "Forward" by Grant Shapps, and there is no forward in the book at all. There's no.
Grant Shapps.
And he always goes on about Grant Shapps as if it's his friend, as if he hangs out with him.
I love that. That's genius.
Yeah.
It is.
I love that. Well, I can't wait to see new
Yeah, that's
Alan
gonna be
Partridge,
amazing.
please. I really, really can't. And 2025 continues to be booked and busy for Steve Coogan. Because next up we have Brian and Maggie on Channel 4. And this is all about an interview that basically ended a friendship.
It's about Brian Walden, a political interviewer of his day,
Yeah.
who did these long-form interviews and developed a friendship with Margaret Thatcher. And it's about their sort of political friendship. It's like, sort of like a love story, but a platonic love story between Margaret Thatcher and Brian Walden. And it's very interesting, really, because he interviewed her a dozen times and became very close and friendly with her. helped write her speeches and stuff. And
that wasn't known at the time that he was helping
no,
write
he
the
wasn't.
speeches.
No,
he kept that all on the
yes,
quiet.
well, sort of, there's an ethical question mark about journalists getting involved in helping politicians like that in that way. But he, and in the end, when it came down to a choice between when she was on the ropes, Margaret Thatcher, towards the end of her tenure as Prime Minister, he had a choice between, sort of looking after his friend in this in-depth interview, or sort of plunging the knife in, and he chose the latter and ended their friendship. So there's something quite Shakespearean about it, and it's a very interesting topic, and I found the story quite fascinating. Rob Burley, a guy who is Andrew Marr's producer, came to me with the story saying, I think this will interest you. And so I asked James to write it, and he said, yes, I love that idea. And they were quite attracted to each other because they were both outsiders. They both came from lower middle class backgrounds. They went to state schools. They got scholarships to Oxford. So they bonded in that we're outsiders. We're not like the establishment. And also, in those days, politicians did know their stuff and had very specific points of view. I mean, I loathed Margaret Thatcher growing up. But in looking back to the sort of lens of history, you definitely knew what her point of view was. There was nothing wishy-washy. She didn't try and please all the people all the time. Right? She wasn't risk-averse, like a lot of modern politicians are. And Harriet Walter plays Margaret Thatcher, and I play Brian Walden. And it's really... It's a sort of two-hander, really. So there are other people in it. It's about that, those days of television when it was live television was quite exciting, and there was a lot of pressure. And also huge numbers of viewers would watch, millions would watch these.
I remember watching Brian Walden, because it was always on a Sunday, wasn't it?
It was, yes.
And it was the time Mum was making Sunday roast. And then, there was only 3 channels, because, I'm in my 50s.
That's right.
And that was always one, because she, she liked watching the political stuff. So you remember it. I don't ever remember that interview. But I went back on YouTube having watched it, and it's on the original interview that Maggie did with Brian.
That's right.
I think it's brilliantly written.
Also, whilst you're on your Steve Coogan binge, finish this. Brian and Maggie on Channel 4. And you can also see Dr Strangelove, which Ange and I went to on a date night together.
It was our first date together.
First date
Very
together,
good date. We didn't talk once.
That is rude. You can watch it on NT Live whenever you want. So it's on in some cinemas as well, but you can watch it online.
Or if you're lucky, get a ticket in Dublin.
No, in Dublin. It's currently on in Dublin. I loved it so much. I loved the way it looked. I thought it was so funny. It was so well written.
It's
brilliant.
Standing
Would go again.
I would.
I've nothing to add.
No, you're like, it's right. We had a standing ovation.
We did.
Andrew's like, nah, I didn't really like it. And I said, come on, Ange, give him a clap. She did it. We did it. I said, come on, let's clap. She was like, okay, Steve, we come to the end of the show question. We have here for you, for the chance to win a Waitrose goodie bag, some leftover crumble, and half a cheese and onion pie.
There you go.
The stakes are high. Can you answer this question?
Yes.
Hi, Steve. This has been a real pleasure. I don't know how you could write that in advance.
I know, weird.
Thank you for joining us. For your chance to win the Waitrose goodie bag, you will now be presented with 2 servings of baked beans, one of which has been cooked on the hob and one in the microwave. Please tell us which is which. Tasting is fine, but not mandatory.
Yeah, beans after crumble. Bit weird.
There you go.
Well, I'll tell you straight away. That microwave cooked, and that's that. They look appetising, and they look less appetising.
They look disgusting. He's right.
He knows.
Yeah, you're right.
The 50-50 chance. It wasn't like multiple choice.
No.
Exactly.
What's it going to be?
So won the lovely Waitrose
the goodie bag is yours, and then
Right.
we'll just tip in that crumble and the pie.
Just tip in. Do you remember those bins at school that had all the food?
Hey! I have that now. If I will happily eat a meal with the sauce on, but if I put a plate in the dishwasher and the gravy gets on my thumb, I'm like, I still have that. What is that about? It might be from the bins at school.
Yeah, exactly.
Bins full of custard. A round of applause for our guest kicking off our new series, Steve Coogan. Thank you, Steve Coogan. That was fab.
Been amazing.
Thank you.
Now I know what all the fuss is about.
I'd like